The following is a program of the Santa Barbara County Education Office. To learn more, visit sbceo.org.
Hello, I'm Susan Salcido, Santa Barbara County Superintendent of Schools. I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Innovations in Education. Here's a look at what's coming up. First, we'll meet the 2018 County Teacher of the Year.
Even if you didn't get the right answer, ready? Your brains grew.
Hey, so today is a pretty exciting day. We are going to look at the offspring for our fruit fly lab.
Then we'll check in with some AP Biology students in Santa Maria. Jennifer Kline is a 5th grade teacher here at Oak Valley Elementary School in Buellton. Jennifer was just named 2018 County Teacher of the Year for bringing her energy, passion, vision, and creativity into her classroom every day. Now let's meet this outstanding educator now.
I'm Jennifer Kline. I teach 5th grade at Oak Valley Elementary in Buellton. I've been teaching 5th grade for 8 years, and before that I taught 1st grade for 3 years. Okay, here we go. Mental math. 2 times 7. Round to the nearest 10. My favorite thing about teaching has to be the relationships that I develop with students so that years down the road they come back and they tell me the impact that I've had on them as a teacher, or the fun things they remember about being in my class. And I also enjoy seeing those aha moments in the students where they overcome a hurdle or they successfully figure something out or are able to explain it to a peer, and that self-esteem that gives them and how excited they are. Okay, here's a number talks. I'll do 2 today. So remember, you were trying a strategy other than lining them up underneath each other and solving it, as we call it, algorithmically. Try to find familiar numbers, think of a number line, all those strategies that you can.
I like math. Ms. Kline makes them really fun and it gets more interesting. And I like the thing that we're doing right now is comparing decimals and decimal, like, what's it called? It's like saying which is greater than 0.1 or 0.2.
I like math because it helps us in school and out of school. And I also like how Ms. Kline teaches it.
Math is my second favorite subject, and math is fun for me now because I'm in Mrs. Kline's class, and she makes everything fun for me.
I like math, and it's one of my favorite subjects because you use it in school and out, and it's really important in your life.
Well, it's really fun, and Mrs. Kline makes it very fun. When we're rounding, she'll say, is the elevator going to the penthouse or to the lobby? Because we do vertical number lines.
Talk to your neighbor real quick. Tell them if you got the answer correct or incorrect, and if you know what your mistake is. Ready? Sudoku. I really enjoy teaching math because I love seeing the students come up with different ways to solve a problem. And they're realizing that there's not just one correct way to get an answer, that there are several different ways. And to me, that's problem solving. And that is going to be what life is about for them, problem solving, working together, solving a problem with a group, whether it's in a math class or in a work environment. It's a very important strategy to have. And all the little things we do in math, they don't even know it, are leading into that problem solving, that critical thinking, and figuring out an answer to a problem one way or another, or working together with several people who have different solutions to a problem. What should it be, Yasmin? 4, 3 6/10. That's 6. Is that going to make the elevator go up or down? Up. Up. So that 3 becomes a Ah, you had it. Okay, take that number now. 3 6/10. We're rounding to the nearest 1. Take that number and square it. Subtract 1. Add 10. Add 1. Equals. Good job, 26. I've been a teacher for 11 years now, and I got into teaching a little later in life because right out of high school I was counseled out of teaching, even though I knew I always wanted to be a teacher. I was an only child growing up on a ranch, and I used to give the animals report cards and pretend to teach them. So I knew I wanted to be a teacher a long time ago, but your high school counselor kind of has an impact on you. So I went away to school and was not thrilled to be a business major. And I came home after 3 semesters, and I did some other jobs here and there, and I ended up getting married, and I started a family, and then decided something was missing, and so I went back to school slowly because I had a family. First, I got my early childhood education degree from Allen Hancock and taught preschool, and then while I was there, I continued my education. I got my Bachelor of Arts and Liberal Studies from Chico State online, and then I proceeded to get my credential and master's from Chapman and immediately started teaching here. I see some great strategies. I have some people that are almost there, so we're going to help push ourselves up to that penthouse, so to speak. What did we get? Caitlin, what did you get? 300. 300. Did anybody get a different answer? Jordan, what did you get? Biggest challenges to being a teacher definitely come from outside the classroom, I feel. I feel the state budget always has an impact on how many kids we have in our class, or the materials or the resources that we have. Constant changing of standards and the pendulum swinging makes you kind of have to change your philosophy here and there. I'm loving the Common Core shift right now in the way that that's allowing us to teach students. And I think that now that that's settled in and has been a practice for several years, the outside community or parents, they're more accepting of what we're doing in the classroom, and so that's made that easier. Okay, next thing we're going to do is the mingle. Remember we talked about it this morning? So I want to hear it. Ready? Mingle, mingle, mingle. Mingle, mingle, mingle. Mingle, mingle, mingle. Mingle, mingle, mingle. Strategies for teaching. I love to get the kids out of their seats so they're mingling around with their peers, whether they're on the ground or on a beanbag or at a desk. Working together on projects as much as possible, not just sitting and listening to me. The other thing I do in my classes, I try to build personal relationships with my students. So from the moment they walk in the door, I'm greeting them, a handshake or a high five, a hug if they choose. I know what they're doing after school because we've talked about it the day before. So we check in, we see what we did that evening, how it went. We talk about what's going to happen during the day, and I just let them know throughout the day that I'm there if they need anything. I'm there to help them. I know that we all have questions about what we're learning. We all make mistakes. And so my goal is to make them feel comfortable making those mistakes and learning. Trust me. I feel sometimes if students don't trust a teacher, they can't challenge themselves to do better or challenge themselves to push themselves further as well.
I like her way when she gets up and out of our seats. We don't have to sit around doing a project every day. We watch some videos and she makes us mingle. Peer teaching or peer collaboration to me is very important because I don't want to hear one person talk constantly all day long, and I know that the students tune me out sometimes. And so not only is it nice to hear a different voice, but some students have a different way of solving a problem or a different way of saying something, different language that they're using that might make sense to somebody who's struggling. And so I think that the different ways that they can hear the same answer to a problem is going to be beneficial for those learners who might struggle with a problem.
My teacher, Miss Kline, is a wonderful teacher because she helps us, she says mistakes are okay, and if we learn mistakes, our brain grows.
So that last one is meant for those people whose brain needed to grow a little bit, to challenge them. And for those of you who were still working through that one, guess what? Your brains grew too. Okay? Even if you didn't get the right answer, ready? Your brains grew. Right? Good job. Good try.
We've done a lot of research in 5th grade, my teammate Lisa Melby and I, with Jo Bowler, who is a Stanford professor, and she's got this growth mindset philosophy that has been out there, but she definitely studies it and publishes about it. So we've been showing the kids a lot of videos about how nobody has a math mind or a non-math mind. Everybody is born with the same abilities. And so if you are a defeatist, or you just say, I'm not a math person, I can't do it, then you probably won't do it. But if you open your mind up and say, I'll try, it might take me a little longer, but I'm going to get there, then your brain's going to grow, and you will eventually be successful. And so we talk about synapses firing every time you make a mistake, because you're learning from your mistakes, and then the next time hopefully you don't make the same mistake. We talk about our brains just constantly growing as we're learning anything, whether it's math or other subjects as well, and the students really love the fact that their brains are growing.
She always tells us our brain is growing, which helps us learn more, because we want to keep trying even though we got it wrong.
Find a friendly number. Okay, what did you add to that number to make a friendly number? And then remember to subtract that at the end. Place value. You all are pretty dialed in on place value. Try to find another strategy. Don't erase it. Keep it on the board. We'll share our strategies in a minute. Good, Nikki. Good. I am very honored and humbled to be named the Santa Barbara County Teacher of the Year for 2018. So the Teacher of the Year has been a roller coaster from the moment I found out to the continued interviews and speeches, and just it's been nice because I'm able to explain the importance of teaching to people who might not be teachers, and how important our job is. I feel that everybody in my school should be Teacher of the Year because we're all fabulous, but I have this job to bring out the importance of teaching to the rest of the community in the county. So you saw that 297 would be a friendly number if you got it to 300, and that would be 3 more. So took that 3 over here and added it. Good.
Mrs. Kline is the best teacher I've ever had, and she, as I said, she makes everything fun, of the mingling and of science.
She likes us to get up and not just sit in our desk, and we do a lot of different ways to figure out a problem.
Mrs. Kline is the best teacher. She won Teacher of the Year for a reason, because she's really nice and she's awesome.
To me, teaching is very important because we are responsible for these students in our classroom. They're going to be our leaders one day. I say this, that I wake up every morning and I've never been miserable to come to work. I've always just couldn't wait to get to the classroom. I love to see the students every day. I'm sad when students are absent. I miss them. And so I just feel it's such an important job, not only educationally, but socially and emotionally as well for these students. Some students, this is their 6 hours of stability or 6 hours of structure, and when they go home, they might not have as positive as a home environment. So I feel the responsibility to be supportive of them academically as well as socially too. I guess my hopes for my student is when they leave my classroom that they feel good about themselves. They're going to be at all different academic levels, but I hope that they have that mentality that they can work a little bit harder if they need to and be successful. I hope that they are a kind person when they leave, and that they're friends to others, and that they can see the need to be kind out in the community as well. I hope that they carry that with them.
Ricardo Magni is the Science Department Chairperson at Pioneer Valley High School in Santa Maria. He brings challenging and engaging lab experiences to enhance his students' learning. Now let's visit the AP Biology students with their lab.
So today is a pretty exciting day. We are going to look at the offspring for our fruit fly lab. So we bred fruit flies, and this is the F2 generation. And who can tell me the names of one of the mutant flies that we're looking at? What's one of the mutations that we're looking at? Yeah, Araceli.
My name is Ricardo Magni. I'm the science department head here at Pioneer Valley High School. I've been teaching science in California for 22 years, and I've been at Pioneer Valley since it's been open. Now we're in our 14th year. So the AP Biology class is a super sharp group, very energetic and very driven to learn. So it makes it really fun for me to teach. Today we were looking at a 3-week-long lab on fruit flies. And this is a very old experiment. Scientists and students have examined fruit flies for over 100 years. However, the fact is many students have never had this opportunity, and it's extremely valuable for the students to take the responsibility of breeding and counting, classifying living organisms. It's really interesting, and plus you add in the fact that the fruit flies are mutated, and that gets everyone's interest level peaked.
The whole point of this experiment is to determine if the fruit flies, these mutations, the white eyes and the apterus, are located on either the 3 pair of body chromosomes or the 1 pair of sex chromosomes, and then they would be called sex-linked traits.
Their goal is to count 100 fruit flies and to determine if the mutation, and we looked at 2, white eyes versus a regular fruit fly which has red eyes, or apterus, which means no wings, versus regular fruit flies which have wings, like in your little fruit bowl at home buzzing around your bananas or whatever. Those fruit flies, we're looking at the mutants, and we're going to see if they're dominant or recessive, how the genes are passed on, and if they are sex-linked or autosomal, which means on the body chromosome.
So my instructions to you right now are simple. You guys already know what to do. Let's anesthetize the flies and then get all our materials ready, so in about 10 minutes we can start counting them.
Today we're separating our flies based on their gender and if they're a wild type or if they have the mutation.
Well, in this experiment we've been learning on how to identify mutations, and we've been kind of just trying to explore how genes are passed, whether they're sex-linked or body type.
So far we've been learning about genetics in the cell and mutations.
We are currently separating our flies that we have been working with since a week ago, and we're separating them from white eye mutations and regular wild type. And right now we began with only 7 females and 1 male. So we don't have as many as we hoped, but so far we have 40 to 50 flies.
We're looking at the flies' bottoms to see if they are a male or a female. And then we're also looking at their wings to see if they have wings or if they don't have wings.
Well, the males are generally smaller and they have a darker abdomen, and it's not as striped, while the females are larger and have prominent black stripes.
If they have wings, it means that they're a wild type, so like a normal fruit fly. And if they don't have wings, then that means they're a mutation.
I think the main value of teaching science is being able to think and being able to incorporate communication with your lab partners, being able to incorporate hands-on, actually manipulating stuff. And I think the other thing that's super important is learning new stuff, because the stuff that hasn't been invented yet is going to be invented by people with science backgrounds who have very strong lab foundations. They're able to be critical thinkers, and they're able to communicate with the people that already invented something to take that invention to the next level. And I want to give my students the opportunity to be that person. And in order to do that, they have to have lab experience. It's a must.
We're doing this like
so we can practice for college doing like some real hands-on activity.
Well, it's a really good subject because it's really like complex and it's really interesting at times, and you have labs that you do and you record the data. We've been doing that lately and it's really cool and interesting, and then we have the subjects that we talk about in each chapter.
This is like my favorite science class. It relates the most back to us. You know, it's AP Bio, there's biology everywhere, it's the study of living things. And like we learned about cells, and like cells are everywhere, and it's really interesting, and like it's cool that it connects back to life.
It's a very exciting class. Like every day we come in knowing that something interesting is going to happen. Like we know that we're going to learn something new every day, and it's very, very interesting because you work with hands-on projects. And it's just easier for us to understand what we're learning about, which makes it even funner.
Class, I want to go over it and make sure everyone is clear on how we're recording the data. So here's the data table. So this is again, recall this is the F2 generation. So what does the WT stand for? Wild type, which is wild type means the normal ones, the regular fruit flies. And then the mutant ones, obviously that's going to depend on whether you had apterous or white eyes, okay? And you're going to record your males and females for both. And so we have today's date here, and you're going to record the total number that you have here.
Well, there's definitely some challenges in teaching science. So one is just the time. It takes time to set up the materials. It takes time to order the materials. It takes time to do all the little things behind the scenes to make that lab experiment be successful for the kids, especially given that they only have 50-minute class period to work. So in college they have 3 hours, 4 hours. Here it's 50 minutes. So you gotta be firing on all cylinders in order to make it happen in 50 minutes. Materials acquisition can be a challenge. Sometimes it takes time to get the stuff that you need. So you have to be planned out. You have to order it in advance. Another challenge is for some of the introductory classes is some of the kids haven't had a lot of lab experience in elementary school and junior high school. So and we're hoping with the new next generation science standards that changes so that kids can come to us with more of a foundation. They can come to us with more of a basis of science. They know more when they start so that we can take them to an even higher level. I like teaching because I think you can really make a difference for some of the kids. I think that especially in science, the kids are interested in it. You've got Discovery Channel, you've got all kinds of nature channels, National Geographic. Many kids, especially if you go back to elementary schools, they have an inherent interest in science. They love it. They love animals and snakes and bugs. They love that stuff. And sometimes as the kids get older, that interest wanes a little bit. So I like to get them excited and motivated and fired up again about learning science. So I guess one of the reasons why I do it, I guess maybe it makes me feel a little bit like a kid again, all over again.
Well, I've been very interested in science since I was 4 years old, and I've taken various classes in college and throughout my high school experience.
I really like it. It's really challenging, and I learned lots of new things.
It's pretty fascinating, I think.
Another reason I do it is I know that I'm able to have a positive impact on kids, because now that we've had year after year of graduates that have kept in touch, I'm hearing some of the exciting things that the kids are doing after they're done with me, and it makes me smile every time I hear from a new and some new adventure that the kids are working on. It's very exciting. We have kids who are medical doctors now. We have some kids who are researchers. In fact, last week I just had a guest speaker from someone who's now working in pesticide management and auditing fruit and vegetable companies, the pesticide residue that's on their products. And she's a graduate from here, and she has 2 science degrees. We have kids in environmental science, environmental engineering. We have one person working at a very prestigious environmental company looking at preserving some of the watershed up in the Sacramento River area. So we have students here that have gone on in science to do a lot of great things. I just had a student email me last week publishing a paper at UC Irvine. I mean, it's just fantastic. We try to make sure that they're well prepared so when they go in the real world, they will be successful.
I want to major in marine biology for sure. So me being in AP Bio really helps me with wanting to further my career in marine biology. Doing labs help me really prepare for the actual research field, and I'm very excited when I come to this classroom because we're always doing something new, and we're always doing a lab, or we're always discussing something new in science.
When I graduate from high school, I'm thinking about going to a 4-year, possibly like Cal Poly, to get into engineering.
When I graduate, I plan on going to a 4-year university.
When I graduate, I want to go to a 4-year university and possibly work with science, but my major would be for sure mathematics.
I hope to go to a 4-year university and hopefully study pre-law or political science.
I don't know what I want to study yet, but I want to be a journalist, so maybe like a journalism major.
Medicine.
For me, going to college is a chance for the students to reinvent themselves and a chance for them to really expand their future and for them really to set themselves up for success. So by teaching these AP Science classes, my goal is to get them ready for college science, so by the time they walk across the stage and graduate here at Pioneer Valley, that they are ready for college science. Not just to pass it, but to succeed in it, to excel. So they can thrive in the college environment. And so I guess my goal really is to get them prepared for the next level. A lot of these kids are very talented. They don't even know how smart they are. They're very good. They just need the time to practice.
On behalf of the entire County Education Office, I want to thank you for joining us today and look forward to seeing you next time for Innovations in Education.